What if I told you, a trumpet in heaven was commanded to sound, but it refused? Not because it couldn't, but because the world wasn't ready. This is the divine mystery that silenced the angels until one soul chose to listen. In the heavenly courts, where light flowed like water and songs echoed without end, there existed a chamber no soul dared to enter without divine permission. It was the hall of the final sound, where trumpets of judgment and mercy were hung, each crafted not by hand, but by breath, the breath of God. Among them, gleaming in sacred gold, was the trumpet of awakening, destined to be blown when humanity reached the tipping point, when love grew cold, justice lay slain in the streets, and prayers were no longer heard among the nations. The archangel Seraphon was assigned to it. Pure, mighty, and obedient since before the stars were born, Seraphon had sounded many calls in the history of time. The trumpet at Sinai, the trumpet that awakened prophets in their dreams, even the trumpet that shattered chains in prisons of despair. But this trumpet, this one had never been blown. And when the signal came from the throne, "It is time," Seraphon trembled. He took the trumpet in his hands, knelt before the great light, and raised it to his lips. But nothing happened. No sound, not a whisper, not a hum. Silence, cosmic and deafening. All of heaven paused. The seraphim halted their song. The elders before the throne opened their eyes. Even time, which flowed freely in paradise, hesitated. Seraphon lowered the trumpet and looked upon it in horror. "Why does it not speak?" he asked. Gabriel approached, sensing the rupture in divine order. "Try again, brother." Seraphon closed his eyes and breathed the breath of eternity. He lifted the trumpet once more. Still, it would not sound. And then the trumpet began to weep. From its hollow came not sound but tears, divine, golden drops falling to the glassy floor beneath Seraphon's feet. He fell to his knees. "I do not understand," Seraphon whispered, trembling. Then a voice thundered, not in wrath, but in wounded love. "My people still sleep. Not from ignorance, but from despair. This trumpet was not made to judge the hopeless, but to awaken the willing. And they are not yet willing." Seraphon bowed his head. "What shall I do?" And the voice said, "Wait and watch." Down on earth, a young woman named Elira sat in her room, tears staining the pages of her open Bible. Her child had died in her womb. Her husband had abandoned her. She had no money, no answers, and no strength. But still, she whispered, "God, if you're still up there, please, I just need to know you see me." Heaven heard it. In a remote village, an old man clutched a photograph of his late wife and sang softly the hymn they once shared, his voice barely holding its note, but his heart unwavering. In a city rife with violence, a little boy with bruises on his face folded his hands beneath a bridge and said, "Jesus, I'm scared." Heaven heard them all. And the trumpet of awakening began to hum. Back in heaven, the trumpet glowed faintly in Seraphon's hands. The tears had stopped, not because the pain had ended, but because hope had stirred. Gabriel looked upon it and nodded. The day is not yet, but it draws near. And then, as Seraphon returned the trumpet to its place, an ancient angel whispered. It did not refuse to blow. It waited until someone chose to listen. Moral of the story: the silence of heaven is not always absence, it is often mercy. And sometimes, what seems like God's delay is actually his deepest desire. That none should perish, but all should come to repentance. 2 Peter chapter 3b verse 9. So if you're listening, let your heart awaken before the trumpet does.